Welcome to another episode of the Final Forecast with me, your host, Jay Flo. Super producer Dave is fed up with me today.
We didn't even say nothing.
I didn't even do anything. I don't know what's going on with him today. He's in
You asked who dude's name was. He wasn't having it. None.
Kevin Jones couldn't be here. Unfortunately, he's at practice. Did he respond in the text?
No, he probably wasn't even awake when we messaged him, though. So, being 13 hours apart.
Our lovely co-host Ash.
That's me.
What's this, 3 episodes in a row? Let's go.
I mean, told you. Back on my podcast bullshit.
Yep, there's a lot going on, a lot we could talk about. P. Diddy,
Woo!
My man, and it kind of hurts me. It's kind of sad.
It is sad. You asked me off air my thoughts. What are yours?
I mean, let's share your thoughts.
Yeah, so just so everyone's aware, do I think he's guilty of beating women and mistreating? Absolutely. Do I think he's probably involved in sex trafficking? Yes, I do. Even though he wasn't technically charged with that yet, or maybe not at all.
What is sex trafficking?
So basically, if prostitution happens across state lines, it's considered sex trafficking. A lot of people think sex trafficking is forcing women into prostitution or children or whatever, and bringing them from other countries or across borders. But that's actually not true. Sex trafficking technically can be involved with anything in prostitution if it happens across state lines.
So if, hypothetically speaking, I'm a 19-year-old from WVU, I want to have a good time in DC, I hire some escorts in West Virginia and drive them to Maryland.
Yes.
Or to DC. That's sex
Yes.
trafficking.
Yeah.
So these are, it could be willing and
unwilling.
Ready.
Yeah. I think that there's probably some unwilling parties in these situations. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. And you've probably seen some weird, once you get into that world where people are very wealthy and it's I don't know, they don't get a lot of shock value because they're so overexposed to everything. You have access to so many things. There tends to be some very strange going-ons, where it's not a thing to go to a celebrity's house and see drugs. That's not surprising. You know what I mean? Because it's normal at that point for a lot of people. I'm not saying everyone, but they get used to living this type of lifestyle. And I've, considering coming where I've come from, and I've hung out with some rock stars and things like that. There's some weird things that you see, So I would not be the least bit surprised to find out a man who's been in the industry for how long? And who's also already been associated with some shady things in the past. I'm just saying. I'm not surprised.
He is guilty of beating on Cassie, right, but he's not on trial. You know
Correct,
what I mean?
because of statute of limitations, but yes.
Yeah, but he's not on trial for that. But the other things like sex trafficking, it's I really don't know if it was willing or unwilling parties. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to party and hang out with P. Diddy. You know what I mean? If you got invited to a P. Diddy party before you knew all of this, would you go?
Probably not.
All right, well, I thought we was being real on this show. If P. Diddy came to West Virginia and was like, "Oh yeah, we want Ash, the radio host, to come to this party 4 years ago," you wouldn't go? You just go, "Nah, I'm good. I ain't going."
I probably would have, because I wouldn't have known about this then, right? So
you didn't know about this.
Okay, if I didn't know, then yeah, there's a chance I could have, depending on who else was there. I'm not a huge P. Diddy fan, but sure, I might have shown up. Depending on who's there, maybe I would have went. I'm not a huge P. Diddy fan, but maybe.
I'm not a huge Blink 182 fan, but there in Morgantown, I get invited to the party, I'll probably go because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't.
I guess it depends on how you look at it.
You don't have to participate in anything. From what I was told, you gotta be out of the party before a certain time before all the weird stuff happens.
Didn't somebody say that? Didn't somebody actually say you had to like, yeah, you don't want to stay
Yeah,
too late. Like that's when weird shit
yeah,
goes down.
yeah. I mean,
Was it Shannon? Was it Shannon Sharp that said that? I'm trying to remember who
everybody said
said
that.
that.
Apparently,
Everybody knows it's like, and that's the other thing that's coming out now. Like it was like an open industry secret that like there was some depraved shit happening behind
yeah.
closed doors. But again, is that
And I
surprising?
mean, it's not a crime to be freaky. Like they said, he was having freak offs.
It's not.
Which are basically orgies. I mean,
Yep. I literally said that. The fact that they even put how many bottles of lube and baby oil that they found in his house is not important. It is not illegal to be a depraved individual. You could be a
yeah,
pervert all you want. That is
that's not
not
illegal.
illegal.
I think
So
it's more the fact that he had women that were pressured into
I think
acts
maybe
of
they
all
were
different
trying
ages.
to, yeah, maybe they were trying to show like enterprise, like who else has 1,000 bottles of this if you're not pushing mad sex through your fucking home. You know what I mean? I don't
I'm
know.
not, and again, I'm not saying he's guilty or not guilty. I'm not defending him at all. I just don't know. Having
Yeah.
1,000 bottles of baby oil is not a crime. You know what I mean? Like, and that has
Correct.
happened in Morgantown. Like, people have gathered mad KY jelly, mad lube to have KY jelly wrestling matches. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. If you watch
Okay.
the movie,
Touche.
if you
You
watch
are
the
not
movie
wrong.
Old School, it happened in there too. Like it happens. Like it's just things that happen, you know? So that's I don't know. That's not evident. Like that's not evident. I don't think they presented anything to show that he's guilty yet. Maybe they don't have to yet, but I think they're just kind of
So I think the yeah, I think the key here is like, I mean, and here's the thing. Here's where the problem lies. Because there's been so many lawsuits that have been brought against him for sexual assault already. It's gonna come down to who they're going to put on the stand. It has to be somebody who they believe to be honest. Because here's the thing, some people may just be like, you know what? I was at Diddy's party circa 1997. I'm going to say something
not.
happened to me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that people would do that, but
Yeah.
people do
Some
that.
guy that's in jail said that
I saw that.
he
Yes, he's an inmate in Michigan
said
as
he
we
got
speak.
sexually assaulted by P. Diddy at a party. He was trying to sue for like
And
100
dude,
million and they dismissed it.
they did not dismiss it. Diddy did not show up, so now he owes this man $100
But
million.
I just read that they dismissed it though.
What I read was back from September 10th, so maybe that is
I
true.
read they dismissed it. But
Okay.
like stuff like that, like you just know you don't know who's telling the truth, who's telling lies. And as usual, like the people that lie about stuff like this, it is terrible for the victims that really were, assaulted or whatever they're accusing them of. But the jokes on it and the memes and everything on the internet are just hilarious. It is entertaining, as sad as that seems.
Everything I'm reading says that he still owes this man $100 million.
I'll send it to you. Lord have.
I put it
Okay.
in the group chat, Ash.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You have something here? Oh,
I put it in the group chat. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Thank
why
you.
people don't believe me. Like I'm a very credible Final Forecast journalist.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying everything that was popping up for me said he owed him.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, it's sad for the industry. It's sad for the culture. You know what I mean? Like I grew up listening to Diddy songs, and it's kind of like the R. Kelly
Sure.
stuff. Like just all of our heroes are going to shit.
Well, that's true. But at the same time, see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like something happens once you get to a certain point of wealth. I really do think that, and not just wealth, but think about the culture that surrounds the music industry.
Yeah.
And that one I can speak from experience. It is extremely sexual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I mean, there's nothing to be at the studio, and there are women there just for that reason. That's it. That's what they are there for. They are solely there for pleasure purposes
Yeah.
only. And it's so common that nobody bats an eyelash at it.
And they're not
And it doesn't
forced to be there
make
either.
it, I mean, these women are green. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if you ask, let's just say 8 out of 10 girls, they're going to really willingly want to hang out with P. Diddy. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Sure.
but they're not talking about the willing girls. They're talking about the ones that he quote This is from the BBC talking
Assaulted.
about the charges and details of the freak-offs on September 17th. He was charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He also engaged in kidnapping, forced labor, bribery, and other crimes. They described him as the head of a criminal enterprise that abused women, using threats of violence to force them into participating into drug-fueled orgies with male prostitutes. These quote unquote freak-offs were quote elaborate and produced sex performances and were highly organized parties. He allegedly booked hotel suites, recruited sex work, and distributed drugs, including cocaine, methamphetamine, oxycodone, to coerce partygoers into sex and quote keep them obedient.
So I mean,
That's not
Very-
like groupies. That's organized.
sex parties.
Yeah.
It's also interesting too because a part of me wonders if some of these victims aren't famous, because I wonder if maybe the thought process is if I make them do these things, because I've heard there's many videos as well. Do we think that this was done for blackmail purposes or to like keep his career going? I don't know. I'm speculating at this point. This is pure speculation. Because why else? There's too, and this is no offense to anyone else. There are too many willing women out there who would do whatever he asked. Let's keep that.
That's what I'm
a
saying.
buck.
Like, why would P Diddy need to do? You know what I mean? Like,
That's
unless he's bored. Like, I just don't. I don't believe. I don't want to believe that is true. You know what I mean? But
yeah. And maybe it's the enjoyment of it. Maybe it's the enjoyment of having power over another
and
individual,
power.
which would make
Yeah,
sense. I
yeah.
mean, that's why rapists do what they do, right?
He did make the Making a Band cast walk to the Cheesecake Factory to pick up some cheesecake. So I mean, I do think he was power hungry. You know what I mean? Like, could be. But,
True. Yes.
I just don't know.
We're gonna have to watch this one play out. But I will tell you, it is a rabbit hole. I don't know if you've seen that Jaguar Wright chick on freaking TikTok, man, but she is freaking singing like a canary.
Who's that?
And she is dropping names
Who's
left and
Jaguar
right.
Wright?
I don't know who she is, but apparently she knows all these people. And she said, like, this has been going on for years. I tried telling y'all.
She's a victim or
like,
something?
I don't think she's a victim, but I think that she is somehow involved with. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a musician.
See, I'm not even gonna say anything.
Apparently, she's been calling out about him for years. Like, this is.
But
not
again, this
new.
isn't the women that are willing to do it.
Right.
This is the evidence that he has entrapped these other people to do things with power and control. I mean, and also in this indictment, he organized the supply of intravenous fluids to help them recover from the parties, which sometimes lasted for days. Like, this
Cassie
is
even
not.
talked about that. Yeah.
This is not like he had an orgy. This is like a horrible thing that he's being accused of with great detail, and was denied bail despite offering $50 million worth of protection, because in previous court cases he was found to be intimidating witnesses and harassing
Yeah, I
them.
did read that.
So he's not a good guy, regardless if you think he did this or not. But like,
Yeah.
we can't say that, oh, there are plenty of women that would. Yeah, there's plenty of guys that will do it too, but like, it's not about those willing participants. It's about the people that had no choice but to be stuck there.
And I mean, that's what I'm just questioning. Like, why would he do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would he? Someone of this factor.
I mean, honestly, why do
Power.
a lot of people, yeah, that's it. It's a power struggle. It's a power thing. And like I said, I'm telling you, there is something that happens. I mean, I would love to see the research on it. If no one's done it yet, they should. When you get to be at a certain level where money is no longer an object, I think something, especially if you aren't like from old money, I think something happens. And I think even people that are from old money are like that too. Like, something clicks, man, and you start doing things to give yourself gratification because you can't get it any other way. Does that make sense?
Once you've
It's
got all
like-
the money in the world, what do you need? More power,
That's it.
more control.
Power.
Because you don't have anything else.
1,000%.
Well-
And I think the easiest way to get that power is by taking power from other people.
Other people have been saying he was the guy that ordered the hit on Tupac and Biggie.
I've always kind of thought he was involved with some of that.
Why would he do that?
Because they were leaving his record label.
Tupac wasn't on his record label.
Yeah, Biggie was.
Yeah.
But I think he took out Tupac because of what was going on. And I think that there was rumors that Biggie and him were having a falling out. So
I
maybe
never heard that.
that's how that happened. I don't
I
know.
never heard.
But it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out because I think now Pandora's box is about
Yeah.
to open and
I'm
it's going to be one
I'm
after
interested to see
another.
like what tapes and what evidence they have against him.
That's, yep. Well, and here's the thing. Remember, they raided his house a while ago and they're just now bringing charges. And I will tell you that the U.S. attorneys do not bring charges unless they know for a fact they have a solid case. So they have found
I don't know. They
something
did it to
incriminating.
Boosie. Shout out to Boosie. He beat the Fed case, man. It's been
What
the
Fed case
Boosie
was that?
badass. I think it was a self
What was
defense
it?
case at the Feds. It was like one of the racketeering, one of those same ones. I think. I'm not sure. I don't have all the details
Racketeering?
to his case, but he beat the Feds. So they're not always right.
I'm not saying they're not always, dude. First of all, to beat the feds is very
Nah, they have like
difficult.
a 85, 90%.
Oh, he had a criminal gun possession charge that got
For the Fed.
dismissed.
No, that wasn't it. It was something else. He beat like a murder charge.
Okay, I'm looking.
But
Oh, he was just re-indicted on federal firearm and drug charges in July.
Boosie. I don't think that's true either. I don't like that's why
Baton Rouge rapper Boozy indicted on gun charges, July 24th, 2024. Boozy badass tosses his ankle monitor into pool and claims federal gun charges are false.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear he got
Yeah, he's been.
but
Yeah, they brought the
nah, he
case
had a
back.
case a long time ago. Like a long, long time ago. That he beat the Feds.
Okay.
But did you hear the conspiracy that they did all this with Diddy because he was suing the liquor company?
What record
The
company?
liquor company. Like he had like
Oh,
$1 billion
Ciroc?
lawsuit that he won actually against a liquor company, and they're saying that's why all of this is happening because those are real powerful people. So lots of conspiracies, like you said. We just gotta wait to see how it plays out.
But we'll have to see how this pans out. I'm a firm believer. Like I want to see the case laid out with all the facts. I want to see what happens in trial and like all those things before. I will say, do I think he deserves to? I mean, the things that he did to Cassie were just fucking wrong. I think he's a depraved individual.
Yeah.
But is he guilty of the charges that have been brought against him? We shall see.
Yeah. I'm over it. What else is going on?
You're not over it, Laz. Oh, did you? Speaking of criminals,
I
did
mean,
you
I'm over it
see?
because Dave tries to like demonize me for just having a biased opinion. You know what I mean? Like Dave just comes
No,
on.
I'm clarifying.
Like I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it.
Trying to have a healthy debate over here.
Exactly. Like we can't even have an opposite opinion. Like we all have to have the same opinion on the show, apparently, according to Dave.
No, I don't think he thinks that. But speaking of criminals, did you see that our state senator, Mike Maroney from Marshall County is now been brought up on his third charge. This time it was a DUI.
Nah. What was the first two charges?
So apparently he was brought up on some type of prostitution charges back in like 2018 or 2019. But the case got dropped because they felt like they didn't have enough evidence to go after him. Then, what was that? It was like maybe not even a month ago. He was the one that got caught in the gambling room at like a convenience store touching himself a lot. Yes.
And we voted for him to be a senator?
Yes. Yes.
Touching himself where?
Oh, he was getting it. It was at what's ironic is the place was called Gumby's. And it was a gambling room in the back of this convenience store. And he was caught on camera pleasuring himself in this back room while he was gambling.
Why? Like what
That's
turns
what
him
I
on
said.
about a hot spot?
Like, what the fuck?
Smells like cigarette. It was no girls with him or anything. He's just going to work.
Just him in his hand.
That's crazy. Let us know, final forecasters. Do you think P. Diddy is guilty? Do you think
That's what I want to know.
women?
Put a poll
What
up.
a transition.
Do you want to know if? Do you think prostitution should be legal in America? Let us know at the final forecast, wherever Twitter, Instagram, whatever Dave has going on.
Final forecast.
Big game. Just had a big game. Big win. Didn't have anyone who wanted to vent this week. I don't think, Dave. Anybody respond to Twitter, Dave?
No, I think we just left it too late. And I think it would be interesting to have them on next week to preview the game so we can get ahead of them a little bit and take the
True.
advantage of the bye week.
Yeah, how when it's almost like we're gauging the fan. You know what I mean? Like, okay, where do we sit this week? Are we like hot or cold? I want to know. Like, where are we?
Because anyone
at?
can complain about the game we just had and be experts with stats in front of them, but what's the expertise ahead of the game?
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So I went to the
It's
game.
kind
Ash,
of hard
did
to
you go to the
predict
game?
right now, too. Don't you think? Oof.
Oh, it's unbelievably confusing.
Dave-
We were there at the game, and it was like Neil has the chance to do the funniest thing right now, and he did it.
What do you do?
It just came back miraculously. Everything went right
honest.
perfectly at the end, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah, they did the exact opposite of what we did in Pittsburgh. I mean,
That's
the exact same
it.
thing that we did in Pittsburgh, but opposite. We were on, we were on the other side of it. It was just kind of crazy.
It was nothing short of a miracle. Let's keep it honest.
Did you go
I
to
did
the
not
game, Ash?
see that coming. Huh?
Did you go to the game?
No, I didn't go to the game, but I watched the whole thing on TV.
Did you? So you're old. You haven't went to a Mountaineer game yet this year. It's crazy. What do we have to do to get you to a game, bro? Like, what's going on?
Invite her to your suite that you're in, John.
Wait, you
There's
have a
no
suite
freak
and you
offs.
didn't invite me?
There's no freak offs going on in there, so she probably won't want to go.
Because I'm totally a freak off chick. That is facts.
What the audience can't see, listening on the podcast, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll see it, but there's a million bottles of baby oil in the back of Ash's shop.
Have you ever been to a party where there's those KY jelly matches, wrestling match?
I've never seen a KY jelly wrestling match. I thought you were going to ask me something else, but
You don't
no, I have not seen a wrestling match with KY.
I don't want to ask you that question. But you can assume what I was going to ask you. You can answer it if you
I
want.
knew what you're going to ask me. And the answer to that is absolutely. And that's why I went into my discussion earlier. Prefacing,
So wait, what do you
I've
think
seen
my
some shit. I've seen
what do you
some shit. Let me tell you.
what do you think my question was? Have you ever been to an orgy?
Well, I didn't know if you were going to ask that or if you've ever. Well, I guess it's the same concept.
Well, that's how I met Joe. So,
Dude, Joe was not an orgy guy. I'll tell you that right now. That would never.
Joe was
happen.
3 bodies down, and we made eye contact.
And I leaned over and I went, "Who's that?"
Oh my God, your forehead looks cute.
Yeah, Ash, you used to hang out with a lot of like, because you were in the music. You're in the music industry.
That's what I said. I've
Yeah,
seen
well,
some
rock
shit. Let me
stars.
tell you.
Yeah.
The whiplash from Neil Brown to this KY conversation is
And-
just phenomenal.
And we're in Morgantown, West Virginia. Like, but
That's it.
anyways. So yeah, exact same opposite happened for the game. I was at the game, went and tailgated, had some good moonshine, apple pie for
Best time.
sure. Went in the game. It was looking good the first half, and then the storm came. Was this our third storm delay this year?
Dude,
Second.
it's been insane.
Yeah,
I think it was a second, and we had one late last year, so it feels like it's the third one.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So what did you see in the game, Ash? You watched the whole thing.
Where would you say? Where did I see it?
No, what did you see? Like,
Oh, what did I see?
What were your
So-
thoughts throughout the game?
Okay, so let's keep in mind we are both 1-2, us and Kansas.
All right.
Kansas was really good last year, though. In case you don't remember,
Were
they were
My
really
wife-
good.
My wife said they suck. Like they were the best. The worst team.
No, not last year.
I don't
hang
know.
on.
That's what she said.
Kansas.
I don't know.
won
She doesn't.
2023.
You think I don't know anything about football? She doesn't know shit about football.
Let's remember too, we are in a very tough conference. So also judging good versus bad is really tough to do.
Yeah.
So I mean they weren't uber great last year. They weren't like first or second in our conference, but they were still good.
They had the same record. we
And
had.
they beat us last year.
Yeah.
But
Right.
anyways, we were both 1-2. So I think coming out of the gate at first, I was like, okay, You know, we holding them, and okay, everything was fine. We scored our touchdown. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting us to do better. I thought we were going to probably go out of the gate straight up, hold them, you know what I mean, and get out there and get more touchdowns. I didn't see what I wanted to see. I feel like our secondary, our defense just was not. I'm so sick and tired of we're going to hold them for fucking 2 downs, 3rd down. All we got to do is one more stop and then it's over. And then every fucking time they convert those downs, every fucking time.
Why do you think that is though? Like,
I don't know. It's almost either our defensive coach is not reading the plays right. I don't know what it is. It's baffling to me because we do it so often. I mean, look at how many yards freaking Albany put on us. That is insane. That never should have happened.
So, Dave, remind me when we get a football player on here, like how much blame goes on the coach as opposed to the players. We really got to figure that out. Because, like, if you're a player out there, like you're an extension of the coach. Like, if you call a defensive play and the quarterback makes an audible, the coach has nothing to do with that. Like, the captain on the defense has to communicate. From my understanding, they have to communicate to everybody. Oh, audible, switch it up, switch up here, do this. You know what I mean? I
would
know.
say yes under certain circumstances, but when it happens over and over and over again, clearly it's a fundamental issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that's the way I view it. And also I know that there's really good talent on this team, so I'm a little confused. Like we have a decent defense. These guys are fucking workhorses. So I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
I'm a little
They
confused.
came up with some big stops at the end of the game.
We did. I will tell you that was. But when they went up 11 points, dude, I was like, is this seriously happening? Like, we're going to be dead last in the Big 12 this year. That's all I could think.
Whose fault was it? Was it Neil's fault? We were down 11?
I mean, he's the man that has to, at the end of the day, regardless if he is technically responsible or not, he's responsible because it's his team.
So he got us the win. Neil got us the win.
I'll tell you who got us that fucking win. I would say more so was Garrett Green. That motherfucker worked for it. Did you watch him? He was like, fuck this. Running. Get that first down. Running.
Being a coach is terrible. Like every loss is the coach's fault. Every win is the players. And I guess that's just the price of making $2 million a year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think even Neil said that he told Garrett to go and like do stuff if he didn't have like a. See, this is where I shouldn't speak, but
Garrett, go do stuff.
He was crediting Garrett for like making space for himself and not waiting or something like that.
He made plays. He was just scrambling. I think. Did Kansas not have a QB spy? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't understand about other teams that play against us. Like, why wouldn't they just have a QB spy on the quarterback every time? If he majorly just runs the ball a lot, right? He's a better runner than a passer. I mean, seems predictable, but I don't know.
Are you talking about Garrett Green?
Yeah.
So what's interesting about Garrett, and I don't know if you saw it during the game or not, he works much better outside that pocket, man. When he starts to scramble, he makes better decisions a lot of times, unless he's throwing over top, which do not recommend. But when he gets out of that moment, like the pocket where he is now like scrambling because he knows they're coming, he makes it happen, man. Whether it's hitting that first down or finding his guy downfield. And it's interesting because I think I apologize. Who's the guy that was on last week? What was his name?
Mitch.
Friend of the show, Mitch Shaw.
So friend of the show, Mitch, last week had mentioned it about, do we think that maybe part of the problem is Garrett's height? Which actually makes a lot of sense. Because once he's out of that pocket, I think that he sees things a lot more clearer. And that's why also he sucks at throwing over the top because he's not tall enough. This sounds bad, but it's the truth. And you know what's interesting? We had the same problem with Skylar Howard.
Skylar was tough. I love Skylar Howard.
Skylar was a good dude, but he had the same problem because of his height. He couldn't get the ball over top.
Was he really that bad of a quarterback?
Skylar?
Yeah. He was like getting booed by fans. I don't think he deserved that at all. I thought he was good.
I don't think anybody deserves to get booed, especially. Well, now here's an interesting talking point. Now that these kids are getting paid to play, kind of changes things a little bit.
He wasn't. And I don't think that, like I said before, like go down with your ship. This is a team. Like support them. Win,
Yeah.
lose, draw. Like support your team. But like
I'm blaming coaches. So don't look at me. I would never do a player.
Same thing with the coaches too. At the end of the
No, fuck
season,
those.
then
Listen, they get paid to do a goddamn job. Do your job.
because it's not the coaches all the time. Like,
but it is because if it's let me just say this, because if it's a player, it's their job to fix it. They got a deep fucking bench. Figure it out. That is your job.
I don't know.
You don't need to rely on a player. If a player's not performing, boop, on the bench, you're next. Let's go.
That's a Bob Huggins mentality. But there's been games that, like we weren't playing up to his expectations either. And he was coaching his ass off. It's not his fault.
You know what? I think Huggins would disagree with you.
He would say it's his. He used to call us out in press conferences like, these motherfuckers didn't come ready to play, but I'm going to fix it. Which means when he says I'm going to fix it,
he'll fix it.
What that means is he's going to just run us to death the next practice, which will make us tired for the next game. But he's a Hall of Fame coach.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing. It is your job then. If you see your team is underperforming, the power is in your hands to make the change. Make the change. If it's because, your O-line's not holding, like, you know what I mean, giving your quarterback enough time, then teach it. Tell them what they're doing wrong. Show them what to do. It is your job to coach these kids. They don't come in here perfect.
Got you. I hear you. All right. I'll take it.
That's my thoughts.
So you think Green had a really good game last game?
I think he did. I think he can do better, though.
Scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate his last game?
I'm going to give him 7.5, 8.
Ooh.
Because I think there's more room for improvement.
And as what? What can he improve?
Well, first of all, his passing can definitely improve.
Okay.
But like I said, it's really difficult to tell because it's still really early in the season. So I'm not sure if he's just not trusting himself. Is it that he can't see the backfield? It's going to take some more time for me to make that judgment. But I will say there's one thing about Garrett Green that I think we can all agree to, and we saw it last year during the bowl game as well. When he feels like he is pinned up against a wall and we are going to fucking lose, he'll put it on his motherfucking back and make it happen. Like, and sometimes at some points during this game, I was like, dude, Pat, like there's a guy right in front of you, but he kept running with the ball. But I think it's because he's so amped up, like, fuck it. If I can't see it, I'm just going to go. You know what I mean? I'm going to run.
I think I speak for all fans where it would be nice to experience a game in any of our sports where we're not just
heart attacking
always in that position. Yeah. Like let's have a boring game where we just blow them out of the water in the first quarter so we can like not have that deep sinking, heart sinking feeling where
I think
our blood pressure's at 400. Yeah.
Garrett Green had 295 passing yards, 15 for 30, 50%. Is that good for football?
It's not great.
2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 10-yard average.
10 yards per carry is probably what that means.
If you shoot 50% from the field in basketball, that's good. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Football's a different story. This is completions. So for every 2 passes, he completed 1. That's not good.
That's not good?
No, it's not good.
First down, incomplete. Second down, 10 yards. Next time.
Oh, sorry. You're talking about his yardage? His yardage is good. But I'm saying his completion percentage is not good.
So completing a pass every other pass is not good? No. Okay. I don't know. I really don't. I know Dave told us to tell you we don't know, but I don't know. He had 87 rushing yards on 17 carries. 5 yards per carry. Is that good?
Yeah, for a quarterback, for sure.
Why does CJ Donaldson only have 6 carries?
Dude, I don't remember seeing him at all this game. I'm glad you brought that up because White was the one running the ball. I did not see CJ once.
Who's White? He's
What the fuck's his
quarterback?
name? He's another running back.
He's a quarterback. Right? He's a running
No,
back.
not Pat White. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
We have a running back
Sorry,
whose
bro.
last name is White. Is it Raheem? Raheem White?
Jaheim White.
Jaheim. That's what it is. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I really love Clement. He was
Yes.
84 last year. 84 Lumber. Shout out to him. Shout out to Hudson. He's from Martinsburg, West Virginia. So he had a hell of a game. 7 receptions for
He's
150
good,
yards.
dude. He
That
should
is
be a target
crazy.
a lot. He knows how to catch the ball and make it happen.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't pass on the ball. He has 7 receptions for 150 yards. Like,
Yeah, dude.
throw the man the ball.
I know. That's how I feel. By the way, just so you're aware, John, a good completion percentage for college quarterbacks is 75 to 80%. That's a good completion percentage.
Who has that? Oh, never mind.
I'm
we
sure a
don't need
lot do, but
yeah, we don't need to get into that.
holy crap. Did you know the NCAA record for completion percentage in a game was set by Georgia quarterback Grayson Lambert, who completed 24 of 25 for 96% in a game against South Carolina? 96% completion rate.
It sounds like me shooting in college. That's crazy.
Get it?
Crazy. So we got a bye week this week.
Yep.
Dave, you said next episode you want to get a fan on?
I think we get a fan on. I think that they can message you or Ash or just the show account.
So Chris Sedenka on X sent out, is it still called, it's called a tweet, I guess?
People just call it whatever now.
Okay. He
XXX.
tweeted, Neil Brown's stubbornness to consistently run CJ Donaldson on stretch plays should be studied for centuries. It truly exemplifies the stupidity of man, which is so true. I don't even remember seeing him.
How is it? You said, his refusal to run.
His refusal to run him in stretch plays. Yes.
I thought before they were giving him the same. He was getting criticized for running him too much up the middle.
But you know what's crazy? There is one thing to be said about CJ Donaldson that I love. That man will always get you an extra yard just because he ain't going down. He's going to get an extra yard on that push every fucking time. I don't remember seeing him, dude. So he had 6 attempts. He gained 39. I don't remember. 6.3 was his average for this game, but I seriously do not remember him in this game at all.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him out there. But 6 is not enough for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We got to get Pat Wade or somebody on here.
Oh, we had 2 unsuccessful CJ Donaldson Jr. runs, so maybe that's why they started running White, but I don't know.
Well, thankfully, they got the win because we really have to
praise Jesus. I mean, but it was a rough win. It was a rough fucking win.
Oh yeah, I don't know how we did it.
I don't either. And honestly, I'm not sure if we're gonna pull up anymore.
Really? You don't think so?
I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because I think we've got problems on both sides of the ball, and that scares me.
Well, we got a bye week to figure things out, and I think that's a good one to come off of. I'm very optimistic. I'm not very pessimistic like Ash. So
okay,
we'll see what happens.
Holding out hope.
John, also at that game, it was the W Sports Hall of Fame. Did you manage to sneak in your name for next year?
Hall of Fame? Who do you talking about? It's like a board that votes. I
know, but did you start your campaign
you have to
early?
nominate yourself?
This is the year. No, I'm saying, did he start the whispers and the campaign for himself to be like, you know who would look good up there? Me.
This is why I hate Hall of Fame shit. Just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like they have to like basically nominate them, like not necessarily nominate themselves, but they have to like basically market themselves for votes, which I feel like is so ew, right? Feels
you do? You do? You have to,
yes.
Tell them?
Yeah, same thing with like Oscar. Do you ever hear like the Oscar run? Like when people get nominated for Oscars, then they have to do like their team does like a big push to like get them noticed and get them votes. It's gross. It's like, I don't even know. Like, man, Give me the award because I deserve it, not because I'm marketed better than everybody else. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just feels weird, and I would feel weird about that.
So
I don't know.
Dave, is like the Hall of Fame? Is it? And shout out to Liz Rapella, former basketball player. We came in together, freshman. She just got in the Hall of Fame
Nice.
for basketball. But Dave, is it performance on the court that gets you in the Hall of Fame, or is it
We
like?
went through this when Deshaun was talking about it back in the day. Candidates will be eligible for induction in Sports Hall of Fame 10 years following the completion of his or her career at the university. A coach for blah, 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 20 years of service. Candidates must have demonstrated a nationally recognized or regionally recognized athletic playing, coaching, and or administrative ability, which brought a degree of fame to his or herself, to the university. Example, All-America honors, national championship competition, recommended by peers for distinguished performance at the national level. They must have attended for at least 2 years. So that's like 90% of all transfer students now gone. Candidates must have attended the university for at least 2 years or been a member of the staff for at least 4 years. They must receive 75% committee votes for selection, and they're given full consideration for a maximum of 10 years.
Well, if that's the case, I should be in the Hall of Fame.
Any person may nominate a former WU student, athlete, coach, or administrator who meets the established criteria for selection into the W Sports Hall of Fame. Now, John doing the leprechaun dance on national TV during the Final Four, I think, brought us national attention.
I was on the Final Four team.
That's it.
Big
That
East
brought us
championship.
national
Yeah,
attention.
but let's talk about like the actual thing he did with that cool photo that like cost
Actually
us
scored.
$200 to like use anywhere.
John's dances in general.
I was on the U.S. Times, just honoring America.
You were in the New York Times, not the U.S. Times.
Oh, I thought it was USA Today.
Shout out Matt Sunday. No, it was New York Times.
New York Times.
Matt Sunday took that photo.
Yeah, shout out to my man Matt Sunday. You know, so just honoring America, flag draped around my back. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
like,
when we took down Osama bin Laden, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So headline: West Virginia students
Yes.
celebrate Osama bin Laden.
That night was a hell of a night in Morgantown. Let me fucking tell you.
Hell of a night. A lot of freak offs going on that night.
Amen, John. There definitely was.
So did that. Afterwards, played 12 years overseas, you know, won some championships over there. Always took a West Virginia flag, flew it out my window overseas. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, maybe we should start that, Dave. You want to start the campaign?
Let's do it.
Depends if you're nicer to me. Or I don't know.
Yeah. The 2005, there was a 2005 Elite Eight reunion during this week, and you know we got the win for those guys. So all those guys are back in town. I call them my OGs, my big bros.
So we need him back in town every
Frank,
week now.
Frank Young, Darius Nichols, Mike Gansey, Pat Beeline, Ted Talkinen, Rob Summers, Tyrone Sally, JD Collins. It was really good to see all those guys again. Joe Herber came from Germany, which is crazy.
Did you say Pittsnoggle?
Yeah, Kevin
Oh, sorry.
Pittsnoggle.
Just heard that.
I didn't say. I forgot. How did I forget him?
Just say it. Just say it, and I'll cut it from there.
No. Stop cutting stuff, bro. Just let it ride.
No.
Do it live.
We're gonna go live.
Yeah, like Dave cares too much. But yeah, it was a good time. Got to hang out with those guys. We went downtown. Spent the wheel at what is it? Gibby's? Is that where it is?
Is that where you went?
I don't know where I went. I was all over.
There's Gibby's right there. Almost Heaven's right next to it.
It wasn't Gibby's. It was what's next to the Flying Squirrel?
Where's the Flying Squirrel?
The place right next to your old office in CLG.
Oh,
not Joe Mama's on the other side.
On the other side. Oh, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be
right next to Sports Page.
There's a Sports Page. There's Big Times. Is that still there? Big Times.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what we were. Big Times. Had a good time with the guys, man. It's always good to see them. Just we really have that nostalgia feeling again.
Love that.
Minus the girls and the freak offs. So it was cool.
All gravy. Yeah.
And saw Coach Beeline. Coach Beeline recruited me when I first got here. So we kind of had that conversation, you know, like what if he would have stayed? What could the team have become? Like we all kind of had that conversation. But yeah, I was very impressed. Shout out to Matt Wells who put that together and got all those guys back.
That's
in
awesome.
town. Yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
Love that.
So I think this is a great segue to say if you have some thoughts and would like to share them with us,
Yeah.
you can join us on the show next week. We probably record Monday. Kev should be back. So if you're free Monday, September 30th, reach out to us on the Final Forecast account or message John because he
Oh,
likes people messaging him. You can also give us a call or text or leave a voicemail at our brand new number, 304 504 6469.
We got a 69.
Love it. Well, I'm over it. I'm
John's
over the
classic
podcast.
line.
That's John's new catchphrase. I'm over it.
That's it. Ready to segue? John's going to say, I'm over it. All right, segue.
Well, this has been another episode of Final Forecast. I had some pretty interesting discussions today. Don't judge us. We don't know a lot of stuff. Dave, hopefully you do some good edits. Hopefully you don't edit out every little thing that you felt embarrassed about.
We're okay with saying the things that we said.
Yeah.
Just saying.